Welcome to Minecraft Fixer Upper. Hello and welcome to this episode of Minecraft Fixer Upper. As you can see, we are currently in a snapshot world because we're looking at a build today that was made by Costa96 or JDog the Epic, as you might know him from my Twitch streams. He's been at this build, and it is a build in a snapshot world. It's actually in 20W14A, so quite an older snapshot, which is why I actually rebuilt the exterior of the house. And we're not going to look at textures today because I can't really work with the deep slate tiles in another version, but for the Minecraft Fixer Upper I need a couple of mods, so I couldn't really use the snapshot. So I hope you guys don't mind that I'm leaving out interior and texture for this video, and we're just going to focus on the exteriors. So let's hop into the other world and let's get going. So welcome to this world. Here I have built up the house using Blackstone. It's pretty much the same thing as before. Let's switch us around. There we go. It's pretty much the same thing as before, except I used Blackstone bricks instead of the deep slate tiles. It was the closest color that I could make it, and I also left out the interior and some of the path here because today I want to focus on shape and on roof. And I think this is a great build to use as an example because it's not a bad build. JDog has already brought in some depth here at the front, but as you can see around the back there isn't much happening here. It's pretty much all the same, and I just wanted to show you my process on how to figure out what kind of shapes to add if I end up with a box house, and also how a roofing can really make or break a house. So I already prepared some examples, so let's head over to this one. This is something that I do especially when I build in creative, but sometimes even when I build in survival. I usually start building up these frameworks for shapes that I want to add to the house. In this case, I actually got inspired by the interior of the house, which I have not built up here. But on this side, there's actually the bedroom on the upper floor, and I figured I would like to have like a nice balcony for people to go out of after, they wake up in the morning, and then have like a nice terrace on the bottom, just to add something to this side of the house. Here, I figured there was a little bit of a gap between this extension and this extension. So I figured I would just take the corner in, and I just put little markers so I know that I want to have a diagonal corner here. This one is actually the living room on the lower floor, and I wanted to bring out this part, so I marked it off. And then we have a little bit of a bay window area here that I marked off like this. This is a good way for you to start if you're not sure what kind of shapes to add, because you can just add the outlines and have a look how the build looks, if you like how it's balanced, if you think it's too big, too small, if you want to use like a different placing or put it at different heights. It's a pretty good thing to do if you're not sure. So once that step is done, I go ahead and fill it up with the blocks that I actually want. So like I did it here. I added the balcony area, I added the flooring for the terrace place down below. I played with the blocks a little bit. I had originally had fences going down, but I figured it was too thin, and having blocks looked a bit too thick, so I went with the walls, which turned out pretty good. And I also really like what it adds to the side of the build. And here is the diagonal corner that we talked about. Don't worry about the roofing. We'll look at that in a later step. Same here. I just popped out the back wall here just to extend the room behind it a little bit. And yeah, roofing we're gonna look at in the next step. And here is the bay window. I think it turned out really nice. Now you can really see how empty it is inside, but I think it adds a nice little touch to the build. I like how the windows line up here and how it gives it just a little bit of a color pop here. Now let's take a look at the roofing. JDog added a very simple stair roof, which I kind of like the shape for this build. Like the incline, I think it's a good choice, but there's definitely something you can do to improve the overall look of the build, and we'll have a look at that in just a second. And there it is. If you look at the one before, we had a small roof and a big roof above, and the small roof was filled in completely at the front. Now I have actually opened up the front and I have split the big roof that went sideways to 3 long roofs. And if you have a look, the house looks just so much more detailed. It looks a bit more like it has different shapes. It's more interesting. And I just pulled all the 3 roofs back and filled in the gaps here with the color that I used for walls. In this case, it's Blackstone. And I think that just gives it a lot more interest. Now to finish it off, I just added a few more decorations. I filled in a path. I know JDog had like a cobblestone something, but I just filled something in there. And that's basically the final build. So as you can see, with very simple things such as adding some shapes and interesting details, and also changing up the roof to make it a bit more interesting, you can add a lot to a build. So just to make it easier for you, I'll do a side-by-side comparison. So this is the before and this is the after. So if you like this video and you're not yet subscribed, you know what to do. There's more Fixer Upper videos coming up. If you want your video featured in the Minecraft Fixer Upper series, just send me a DM on Instagram. You can find me there as SillyCat, or you can find me as Hermitcraft Quotes. I take submissions on any channel. And if you got any good vibes from this video, be sure to pass them on to someone else and spread the love. Bye! So for the last little bit of this video, I really wanted to thank all my patrons. Thank you so much to Anmigum, who is Steve, and to First Yashin, who support me and have supported me for quite a while now. I'm super grateful, and you guys make me able to do what I do. If you guys want to support me on Patreon, I would totally appreciate it. I love making videos for you guys, and it just totally helps me out. I hope you have a lovely day, and bye!